Flexbox, a game changer in web design and development. Used by many popular websites like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, first started gaining traction in the web development community around 2011, when browser support began to improve. The specification was introduced to address the limitations of traditional layout models and provide a more efficient way to design complex interfaces. It simplifies layout challenges and gives superpowers to developers to create flexible and responsive user interfaces effortlessly. With Flexbox, you can easily control the size, order, and alignment of elements, making it a powerful tool for building modern web designs. Let's now begin to unravel the basics and let you start using the potential of Flexbox for good. To begin using Flexbox on your website, simply add the following CSS rule to create a Flex container. Display Flex. Now, let's imagine that we have 3 boxes inside the container. The default flex direction of Flex is called row. Flex has 2 flex direction property. It can be either row or column. If we change the flex direction of the container to column, all the boxes will now stack up in a column. The use of flex direction becomes more crucial when addressing responsiveness. For instance, consider a scenario where 3 cards are displayed in a row for a PC view. To adapt to a mobile view, you can easily employ flex direction column within a phone media query in your CSS. In addition to flex direction row and column, there is also the row reverse and column reverse value for the flex direction property. When applied, it reverses the order of the items along the main axis, maintaining the horizontal layout for rows but displaying the items in the reverse order. Now, let's revisit the example of the 3 boxes in a container. What if you want to center the boxes vertically in a flex direction column? Well, you can simply use align items center. And what if you want to position it at the end? Just use align items flex end and align items flex start. We'll put the boxes at the start of the container. But what if it is a row? Well, we just vice versa the main axis. Just remember that when it is a row, align items takes control of vertical positioning. And if it's a column, it takes control of horizontal positioning. Flexbox align items also has a property called stretch, where it will cause the flex items to stretch along the cross-axis, filling the entire height or width of the flex container, effectively distributing the available space evenly among the items in that axis. We've just learned about align items. Now, let's meet its partner in crime, justify content. It is similar to align items with properties like center, start, and end. However, it also has other properties of its own. We know that align items takes control of vertical positioning, and if it's a column, it controls horizontal positioning. Justify content is the opposite of that. For example, if its flex direction is in a row, and it is justify content is center, it will center horizontally. Likewise, if it's justify content on the end, it will go at the end horizontally. Just remember, when it is a row, align items equals vertical positioning, justify content equals horizontal positioning. And if it's a column, align items equals horizontal positioning, justify content equals vertical positioning. Justify content also has a property called space between, where it positions the flex items with equal spacing between. The space between value for the justify content property in Flexbox is particularly useful when you want to evenly distribute the available space along the main axis. For example, if you want to make a nav bar, you want the logo and the links at the start and end of the container easily. You can just use space between to ensure responsiveness and convenience. There is also a justify content property called space evenly, just like the name suggests. It spaces the flex items evenly. There is also a justify content property called space around, which is essentially like space evenly, but takes half of the space at the start and end. Now, where would you use this? I don't know, maybe in future you can remember this video and use space around. Now you can use both justify content and align items together, since both affect the X and Y axes. We can now answer the terrifying question of how to center a div. Well, simply add justify content, center, and align item center, and ta-da! Congratulations! You've just centered your first div. And now, let's talk about Flex Wrap. With Flex Wrap, you can control whether your items should wrap onto a new line, creating a neat and organized layout, or if they should try to squeeze into the available space without wrapping around keeping everything in one line. For example, You have a container with 4 boxes, and since the default value of FlexWrap is no wrap, it will simply not wrap it around. So no matter how many boxes you put into the container, it will all force to fit into a single line. But if you use FlexWrap, the box that do not fit into the first line will be wrapped onto the next line. FlexWrap are typically used in image galleries or product grid in e-commerce's websites, where you need to showcase the versatility of FlexWrap in creating responsive and adaptive designs, providing a better user experience across various devices and screen sizes. After the FlexWrap is Align Self and Justify Self property. Align Self and Justify Self property in CSS is used within a Flex container to override the default alignment set by the Align items and justify content property for individual Flex items. For example, we have a heading 1 and a paragraph. Both are aligned to center. What if we want to place the P at the end of the container without affecting the H1? Well, we can simply use Justify Self End to place it vertically at the end. Likewise, if we wanted the P at the end horizontally, we can just add Justify Self End. Up next is Order. The Order property in Flexbox is used to specify the order in which a Flex item appears in the Flex container. It allows you to control the visual order of Flex items, regardless of their source order in the HTML. The Order property takes an integer value, and the default value is 0. For example, if you want your first box to change order to the 3rd place, you can just type order 3. That's simple as it is. The last 3 property of Flex is FlexGrow, Flex Shrink, and Flex Basis. As the name suggests, FlexGrow allows your Flex item to expand to the remaining space. For example, you want the number 2 box to take the remaining space in the middle. Well, you can use FlexGrow 1. The higher the value of FlexGrow, the more space it takes. For example, if we have FlexGrow 1 for box number 1 and FlexGrow 2 for box number 2, box number 2 will be relatively larger than box number 1. There's no limit to FlexGrow. It can be 20, 0, or even -1. If you want to shrink your box when the boxes don't fit the container, you can use Flex Shrink to reduce the size of the box. For instance, you have a container with a width of 500 pixels, and you placed 3 boxes inside, each with a width of 250 pixels. But if you want the first box to be much smaller than the other 2, you can just use Flex Shrink 1, similar to Flex Grow, but this time, the size will be reduced instead of growing. Like Flex Grow, it also follows a hierarchy system, where the higher the number, the more it reduces in size. And last is Flex Basis, as its name suggests. Flex Basis is used within the Flexbox layout to set the initial size of a Flex item along the main axis before the remaining space is distributed. For example, earlier, we had boxes with a width of 250 pixels each. Instead of using width, we can use Flex Basis to set the initial size of a Flex item along either the main axis or the cross axis. In this example, we are in a row direction. But if you switch to a column layout, now its height is 250 pixels. Now, I know that's a lot of information for a beginner. That's why I've used my remaining time to create a PDF version of this video. You can find it below in the description. It is completely free, but we would appreciate it if you wanted to support the channel. If you're eager to practice your newly acquired knowledge, explore our channel for videos on building responsive websites. We hope you find them helpful in reinforcing your skills and enhancing your understanding of the concepts discussed in this tutorial. Well, that's it. Remember to subscribe to Nova Designs and like if you like this video. See you and have a nice day.
If you need a custom website, you can email us in novadesigns.creative@gmail.com.